Hey everyone, let's continue our journey on discovering what the new era update to Epic 7 brought. Today we'll be talking about the Soul Rank and the Imprint Circuit System. So, as you can tell, I am Soul Rank 2. How do you gain Soul Rank? It's when you reach level 70 in the game. And then overcap on level 70, so the level 70 isn't the max anymore. Now your soul rank decides which max rank you are. And you just gain soul XP the same way you just gain regular XP. Meaning, you just farm, you just play the game, you do whatever it takes to gain XP. And as you can tell in the bottom, in the top left, where my clicking right now is, I have 27.2% towards rank 3. It's gonna take us a while. Arena seems to be the best way right now to farm XP other than farming hunts, etc. One arena win gets you 32k XP, which is quite a lot, I'd say. I believe Otherworldly is going to give us a little bit more XP just because it's 160 energy equivalent. But yeah, in total, I feel like it's gonna take a while. Now, nobody should be playing or farming right now because the carrot event starts on Monday, which is the, let me quickly check, that's the 6th of April. And that's when the carrot event starts, when we get a lot more rewards, and that's where it's gonna really pay out to farm hunts, otherworldly, what have you, because then you also get the cool chests with molars, etc. So don't overspend on resources right now. You will have more than enough reason once the carrot event starts on Monday. Now, what does the soul rank do? So let's get to the imprint circuit. You find this when you press on the top right here for the left 4 buttons, and then at the bottom right it says imprint circuit. Mine's already telling me that I have unspent points, and I do. So as you can tell at the top right here where my currencies are shown, I have 102. Why do I have 102 at level 2? Because I bought I bought 100 points from the Glory Coin shop. As you've seen in my previous video earlier today, you can get you can buy 25 times for Faint Memory is the name. Faint Mana Crystals, sorry, not Faint Memory, Faint Mana Crystals. There's also another currency called Radiant Mana Crystal. I don't quite understand where you're getting it from. It says reaching the pinnacle of the imprint, completing the hero's power to its ultimate stage. I don't know what that means, but I guess we'll find out, because, for example, my Renark already is max imprinted, for example. And let's see. As you can tell, my Renark is max imprinted, so I have no clue. It has no buttons for me to press for these thingies, or even the latest unit that we've gotten. Biblis is also triple S. I haven't gotten anything for this, so I don't know where we are supposed to get this, but we'll find out eventually, I guess. So let's move back and let's play this out. So there's 5 different perks. Now, the perk that I'm using here, or I'm going for right now, is Swiftness, which increases final speed by 3. Now, the wording here is very important. This is not base speed. This is final speed. So let's take my example of Renark. My Renark is 327 speed. That means my Renark will be 330 speed, which is very nice. It's a minor increase, just as Smygate promised. However, this is the least offender, so to say, in terms of game balance. There are other perks that are actually really, really strong. Now, we've got this here, the Onslaught perk, which increases the critical damage cap by 50%, or 50 percentage points, not 50% per se. So that means Currently, we have a crit damage cap of 350. With this perk, we go up to 400 crit damage that you can gain. The most notable unit that benefits the most from this would be Notos. Because Notos only needs 200, and once he's in his God of Battle mode, there's gonna be 400. That's a huge upside. Sure, it still costs some gear score to put into this, but still, it could be actually worth if you're a Notos main. But I find, while the crit damage cap seems nice, there are still stronger ones. Now, for tank down players, the Iron Wall could be very good, because this one grants 5% damage reduction. And this damage reduction stacks on top of existing damage reductions. So this doesn't get neglected when you, for example, use Crimson Armament or other tank units that also passively reduce damage taken of your party. This goes on top, which is quite a hefty amount. Like 5% on top of everything else, that could make or break some cleave comps, for example. Then on the right-hand side, and this is the second board I'm going for, the Insight perk. This one, the maximum applicable effectiveness chance cannot exceed 90%. Now this sounds very obvious, but right now, the maximum applicable effectiveness chance cannot exceed 85%. And that is the 15% absolute resistance that we're talking about here that gets reduced to 10% with this perk. So naturally, you either go for the Epic Insight perk first, because this eliminates RNG. When you are playing Witch of the Mir Tenebria, when you're playing Racist Sigrid, when you're playing Nagwal, or whatever debuffer unit that you could imagine of that does not have a soul burn, ignore ER effect, or even if you don't have any souls because you're playing against the Lion, for example, this will come in handy. Because this effectively, it's just 5%, it's 5 percentage points, but in reality, this reduces RNG by 33%. And that is a crazy amount. So you all should be getting the Insight one, even if you're a tank down player. Because at the end of the day, even for tank down players, when you're using Crimson Armament, there is a chance your provoke on S1 gets 15%. With this, it's only 10% chance, which is still 33% less than 15%. And that makes for a huge difference in playability. Now, I personally would appreciate if this was reading 100%, so 15%, 10%, whatever you gets eliminated entirely, absolute resistance status. But it's a very good step forward in the right direction to remove unnecessary RNG from the game. Now, I don't think that the developers will be ever able to reduce absolute resistance to 0, because I believe a couple of years ago, one of the back then female lead designers of the game, or coders, I believe it was, said that reducing absolute resistance to 0% would literally break the game and stop it from working. So I don't want to know how badly spaghetti coded Epic 7 is, but if we can't have 0%, then at least I'm hoping we'll eventually get to 5% absolute resistance, so 95%, which would be okay. It would still suck when you get 5% in that case, but I believe the 10%, just to test things out, probably is a good start. And the Insight perk is the most important one next to speed. Now, me personally, because I am an aggro player that really likes to play super fast-paced games with Rena, with Yolha, with Racist Sigrid, ML Lua, what have you. So all the fast units, Para 2. For me, naturally, the free final speed, that's what it's going to be all about. And I'm going to get this for sure, because that's the best perk in my opinion. Then for the second board, which we'll be getting in May, I believe. Yeah, it should be in May, so we have plenty of time to farm the first board. I will for sure get this. Now, how does it work, right? So let's allocate some points. Now, I already calced this. It only always takes 4 points, as you can tell. So it's only 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, and then get this. I can't right now because I don't have the Radiant Mana Crystal, but nonetheless, I want to carve the way for this perk. So let's get it. We're getting a lot of flat stats in the process. We're also getting some attacking, which is very nice for Renak. And now we unlock this perk. Now, I don't have any Radiant Mana Crystals at the time of recording, but we can pick other perks. Now for Renak, I'll go for attack, because Renak wants attack, but I also want some HP, right? So I'll go for the HP here and go for attack. And virtually I can skip the ER perks. So I'll go for defense next. And this looks quite cool, honestly. I like all these connections here. I'll go for effectiveness, because that's also good. And then I'll go for attack, because more attack on Renak is always more better. And that's how it's gonna work. More effectiveness perks, because I'm most likely also gonna put Lua and Luna and Sea Phantom Politis into this. And right now I have 2, 4, 6 effectiveness in addition to what I already have. Now 6 doesn't necessarily sound like much, but I could get this one and this one, and I'd be already at plus 10 effectiveness, which is quite a lot, to be honest. So yeah, we are able to get a lot of these things. Keep in mind that you are only allowed 1 epic perk per board, and this entire thing counts as a board. So we have to be very wary of what we do with all our points. Now there's a final perk, the symbol node, so to say, and that one activates when you have 25 nodes activated, and this one gives you 50 attack and 50 defense, which again is quite a huge gain, so to say. Now I haven't decided on the correct pathing yet, because I also need to decide on which units I'm gonna put into the Swift one. So I leave it as is right now, and let's see how my Renak is looking like at the time of recording. Now for this, I will have to quickly respec, because my Conqueror is geared for arena farming. So this is my Renak right now, and this is pretty crazy. I used to be 3.6k attack-ish. I have 3.7k, and I believe when I get 50 more, this is gonna add up. I'm also, when I get another defense perk, I'll be at 1k defense, which is really good, 14k HP, so these stats are insane. Now we can also just do a direct comparison, right? So let's take our Luna here, for example. Stats are already fine, only 44 effectiveness, 20k HP. I can just add Luna into this right now, and then we'll see what happens. Hero deployment. Let's add Luna. And we can always freely remove units however we like, which is very cool. And it's always indicated by this blue icon, which units are in your hero deployment. So as you can tell, at the top right here, where I'm clicking right now, this icon tells you that you have this unit deployed in the circuit. And as you can tell, we gained quite a lot of HP on our Luna. That's 700 HP. We also gained 6 effectiveness. Now, the effectiveness doesn't really matter on this case, but the HP, that's raw damage for Luna. Now, for example, it would matter more for my Lua, for example. 6 more effectiveness means I'm at 120. I could also go for my Racer Sigrid. Now, if I were to get more of those, like we already saw 2 more, that'd be 10% more. If I got another one, I'd be at over 200 effectiveness. That is insane. Now, on the other hand, the Imprint Circuit is flexible in that case, and if I were to, for example, face a player who picked the tank down one, that player will probably also pick all these effect resistance nodes, and eventually it'll balance out. So eventually everybody is going to have most of the nodes, everybody is going to have most of the same perks, there will be deviations. Like, I could totally see not everybody going for the speed one. I am very certain that most players will go for the epic insight one just to reduce RNG. But the second perk that we'll be getting in May is going to be very interesting to see. Like, wouldn't be shocked if some people went for the iron wall. I wouldn't be shocked if some people went for the critical damage cap. So there are a lot of variations. And eventually what this entails is that we'll be getting boards consecutively with big updates. May is going to get our second one. I fully assume that when the 8.6 update rolls around in probably July or something, then we'll be getting our third board. And by that time, we'll not have only 5 units as we do have right now, because with each board you get 5 more unit slots, and that in that case we'll be having 10 after that, which is cool. Now, if you're just testing this out and think, I don't think I really like this, you can always reset this. It costs some gold. Upon reset, the Imprint currency will be bound to that circuit though. So that only applies for when you have multiple circuits, right? Right now we only have one, so if you reset this, it's just gonna go back and that'll be it. Now, here we can tell we'll be getting a second one with a different resonant fragment of resonant, but we don't have that yet. We'll be getting this in May. And if you were to reset, you'd be only resetting the takeoff one. And if you want to reset the other one, for example, for the under 5 units, you'd only reset this one. It's a fair system, I guess. That also means you cannot over-farm the Fate Mana Crystals, I believe. But yeah, it's good. It's a good system. Now, in terms of balance, we'll have to see, honestly. But as of right now, I'm wondering where I'd get the Radiant Mana Crystal. Because it doesn't say where I'd get this. So, yeah. All in all, what are my thoughts on this system? I believe it is okay. I'm not the biggest fan because the developers from Smygate said it won't have much of an effect on the game. I feel different about this. And the difference is coming from the fact that while these stat increases aren't that huge on its own, like +10 defense, it adds up. Like, I'm pretty sure unless there's a hard cap on 25 nodes to activate, you can get everything from this, and then you have so many stats. I don't know, Chief. I believe stat inflation is real, and the 5 units that are boosted by this are going to be overperforming by a huge amount. And what it also will do is, if you're facing somebody who has the crit damage one, but you're the speed player, for example, that crit damage perk is not gonna help that player, because most of the time he's just gonna die before he can actually take a turn. So I feel like for veterans, yeah, this could be okay. Everybody's going to level the playing field eventually. But as of right now, I'm kind of not so happy about this. But we'll have to see how this evolves over time. But yeah, that's it for me. I'm going to keep farming soul ranks because that's going to take quite a while. But it's content that's just meant for longevity and not to be finished in one day. So let's keep it slow, keep it steady, and eventually we'll have everything anyway. Thank you all for watching. Have a wonderful rest of the evening, morning, afternoon, where we're from, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.